How do you detach when you want something really, really badly? When you think about the one thing that you're trying to manifest, that you want more than anything else, that you want more than anything else, it's your most important manifestation. It's the one that you care about the most. When you think about that and how much you really want it to happen, how can you then go from that to detaching and not caring about it? Today I'm going to talk about the law of detachment. Detaching and not caring is actually very different. So if you can get into this place where you're detaching from the outcome, but you're continuing to work towards your goal, then that's going to be the sweet spot for getting everything you're trying to manifest. The problem with attachment is it can actually really mess you up. If you want something so badly that you're obsessing over it, you want something so badly that you're trying to force it to happen, what you can end up doing is sabotaging your actual success. I remember one of my first interviews that I ever had. I was so nervous because I really cared. I really, really wanted the job. But I was so nervous that I was acting like such a freak during the interview, and I clearly didn't get the job. But if I would have just chilled out and been normal, I probably would have made it to at least the next round. But that's a really fun and good example of how when you want something so badly, you can end up actually stressing yourself out too much and sabotaging your chances of actually getting it. And detaching doesn't mean that you're giving up on your goal, it's just that you're giving up on how you want this to play out. Because most of us have an idea of how exactly we want life to go down. Maybe you want to be wealthy, but in your mind you're like, well, I have to go to school and get a good career and then get promoted like 6 times in the next 3 years. And that's exactly how I'll get to a wealthy life, a life of abundance. But when you're so attached to that outcome, that one particular outcome, you're really closing yourself off to all the other possible opportunities that might come your way because you're just very tunnel vision on this one thing. And you see this in love a lot of the times. Maybe it's your friends, or maybe it's you. Maybe you have become really attached to this idea of you have to be married, or you have to have children, you have to meet the love of your life. And you will see people in your life, or maybe you've even done this, where they'll really cling to a relationship or a person who is really not right for them, because in their mind they're really attached to this idea of being in a relationship or getting married and having children. But when you cling to this outcome and you really overlook the fact that the person isn't right for you, what's going to happen is, yeah, you're going to get married and you're going to get the things that you want right now. But then you're going to see these same people get divorced later on. So attachment can really hurt you if you're not careful. And detaching doesn't mean that you're giving up on love or on finding your soulmate. It just means that you're still working towards it, but you're not obsessed with it. And at the end of the day, it's about the freedom that it's going to give you. Because a lot of the goals that we have, if you want to manifest abundance, if you want to manifest a partner, whatever you're trying to bring in, at the end of the day, it comes back to freedom. We want to have choices. We want to be able to live how we want to on our own terms. And that's really the end goal. So to get there, what you want to do is start acting as if you already have that freedom, and start behaving as if you already have the freedom to do whatever you want right now, because you really do. If you want to start traveling, if you want to start doing anything that maybe you think you have to wait until you're like really abundant, maybe you have a certain number in mind where if you have this much in your bank account, then you can start traveling. But really, those things aren't necessarily tied together. It's just that in your mind, you've attached the two. So what you want to do then is just start traveling now. Maybe you can't afford like super crazy fancy trips. Maybe you start looking at weekend trips where your relatives live and you can stay with them. And maybe you can drive instead of having to fly. Little things like that really change your perspective on your freedom, on what you can do and what you can have, without necessarily having to change the amount of money in your bank account. And that will give you the right vibrations that will lead you to the things that you're trying to manifest. It's going to make you realize how abundant you already are right now. It's going to make you feel joyful and grateful, and those feelings will propel you to the bigger things that you're trying to manifest. You're trying to manifest a partner. Well, why? What exactly is it? Are you looking for the feelings of love and the feelings of being love? Are you looking for someone to travel with? Are you looking to have someone to share experiences with? Find the why behind what you're trying to get, and then experience those feelings and emotions now. You don't really need a partner to feel feelings of love. If you have like a dog or a cat, you can experience feelings of loving and receiving love right now. Maybe you have friends and family who love you and you can share life experiences with. You can experience those feelings and those emotions now. You don't have to wait for something to happen in order to feel those things. And living and having those feelings and holding onto those feelings will again actually bring you the things that you're looking for. There's a saying that desire is the root of suffering, or desire is the cause of suffering. And if you think about it, that's actually so true in so many ways. But it doesn't mean that you should live a life without any kind of desires. I mean, think about it, it would be so weird and your life would be so boring and bland if you never wanted anything. But it's really more about finding balance, wanting things and having healthy desires, but not being obsessed with them, not letting them take over your life, and allowing yourself to be happy even when you don't get the things that you want. And I think this is something that really comes with age. The older I get, the more I realize that if I want something and I don't get it, it's really okay. It's not the end of the world, because eventually something better comes along. And the more times that I see this, the more examples of this I see in my life, the more faith I have that it's all going to work out in the end. And I'm sure you've had this in your life as well, where you were really worried or stressed out about something that you thought were going to happen, or maybe there was an issue that you just really couldn't see a way out of and it was really stressing you out. But then you give it a little bit of time and the issue just resolves itself, and it really had nothing to do with you. And it just made you realize that sometimes you just have to give it a little bit of a time. Sometimes you just have to walk away for a little bit and allow things to work themselves out. And at the core of it, that is how you detach without giving up on your goals and on your dreams. You still put in the work, you're still taking inspired action to get the things that you want, but you realize that if you don't get exactly what you want, you're gonna get something better. And that faith will allow you to let go of the control, of the need to control the exact way that things will unfold, the exact way that things will work out, because you know that at the end of the day, it's gonna work out no matter what. Okay, that's it for today's little video. I hope that you found value in this. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with someone who might also find it to be impactful. And I will see you next time. Bye!